Welcome again to Astrology, Signs, and Love. Welcome everyone who's here, and welcome to the people that are listening to our video replay. Tonight is about astrology, signs, and love. We're going to talk about how to spice up your love life with astrology. Alrighty, and let's see, am I on the right frame? Nope. There we go. And you're looking at my screen here. And first off, I want to say welcome, and stick around, please, to the end of the webinar. I will be doing psychic readings for the people who are here on screen. I'm going to let you see what I see. I'm going to let you see what I see when I do readings. So this is going to be quite interesting. Maybe you can help me interpret this. There will be a video replay available by tomorrow afternoon, probably later tonight, but definitely by tomorrow afternoon we'll have a video replay up, and you can go to psychicbitch.com and just look for webinars, and you'll see the link to the replay. Or you can find us on on YouTube. You'll find me, and you can find them there under Janet Moon. And we're also now posting our video replays on Facebook. Just look for Psychic Bitch, and that's BYTCH on Facebook. And you'll see all of our videos, our webinars there, too, and you can watch them right on Facebook. Tonight, I'm just going to cover each of the 12 signs and what you can do to attract a specific sign, or if you're with a specific sign, how to spice things up. And we will have free readings after the webinar. One thing I do want to emphasize is that as far as compatibility in astrology goes, a lot of people will say, oh, a Cancer just doesn't get along with an Aries. Well, we are a whole lot more than our sun signs, and I want to tell you right off the bat, I do not truly believe in compatibility in astrology. Yes, there are signs that are more compatible, that do get along better, but I've seen people with really, really good compatible charts, very compatible charts, that can't get along at all, end up divorced like me and my ex-husband. And I've seen people with very incompatible charts that work it out. I know a father and a daughter that were just totally incompatible, but they love each other and they care, and they have worked past all of that. So it all depends upon what you want. If you want this relationship, don't pay much attention to the compatibility. I don't believe the compatibility will really make a difference, because if you're not going to work on it, it's not going to happen. Blah, blah. Anyhow, tonight I'm going to cover the signs, and we're going to cover the sun in that sign. We're going to cover if the moon is in that sign, or if that person's Venus is in that sign. And when we look at the planets in astrology, obviously the sun is the most powerful planet in astrology. The sun, the ancient people worshipped the sun god Ra, the Egyptians worshipped. We know that the sun brings the life and all of that. Even the pagans believed that the sun was the giver of life. So the sun is our most powerful planet in our astrology chart, sort of. I won't go into details on that tonight. But it represents our characters, our individuality, our styles, and our drives. That's the part of our personality that the sun rules. The moon, she represents our emotions, our instincts, and our subconscious, and it's considered like the second most powerful planet in astrology. Often the moon side of our personality is the stuff we keep hidden from the public. It's the stuff we share for the most intimate people that we care about. Venus is the ruler of love. Everybody knows that. She's the goddess of love. In astrology, Venus rules money and love. So I thought Venus would be a good planet to look at when we're talking about love in astrology. Venus represents our capacity to express affection and enjoy beauty, of course. She's beauty and love. She rules love affairs, beauty and fashion, and social graces. You'll find that the signs that are ruled by Venus, Libra and Taurus, are often very social people, have beautiful parties, dress well, that sort of thing. Venus determines how we relate to the opposite sex, whether we're popular, and our ability to love and share. What I really notice when I do people's charts, if they're born with Venus in the first house, it doesn't matter who they are cute. I mean, I don't even have to see a picture of them. If Venus is in their first house, they are cute. There's something very cute and very attractive about them, And if you got Venus in your first house, you can go out with bad hair any day and nobody notices. You're just always one of those people that people find attractive. So we're going to look at these signs with these planets with each sign. And our first sign, of course, is Aries. And I do want to mention here that we're using funny graphics tonight. Yeah, I figured Halloween, let's get out the funny ones. And this guy who designed these graphics, I think he really had a good knowledge of astrology because he kind of understood these people. Aries is a fire sign, right? The graphics are on fire. Excuse me. How to attract an Aries. All right, if you're interested in Aries, say you're over on Match.com and you know this guy's an Aries or this lady's an Aries, or say you're already in a relationship and with an Aries, right? So these are some things you can do to just spice it up, compliment them. Aries know they deserve compliments. Aries is the me first sign of the zodiac. I call them the me first. Their motto is I am. So the Aries like things intelligent. If you want to keep a conversation going with an Aries, you've got to keep it intelligent and intellectual. They really admire that. And if you really, really want to get an Aries to pay attention to you, ask them for help. They just go, yeah, you need some help? Here I am. They're the first ones to jump in and get involved. It makes them feel so good when you ask them for advice. So you can compliment an Aries and get a lot and ask them for help, and you can really spice them up, warm them up, make them feel good about themselves. Excuse me. If their moon is in Aries, and this moon, Venus, Sun, these will kind of all go back and forth. They might have their moon in Aries, but still they need those compliments. They might have their Sun in Aries, but still they need to have control. And I always joke about that. I say let them have the illusion of control. Nobody really has control, actually. But let them choose where you're going to go on the date. Let them make the decisions as to, what you're going to do and that sort of thing. If you're one of those kind of people that can just lay back and let them have it, especially gentlemen, if you're one of those kind of guys that just likes to lay back and you like a strong-willed woman, you're going to really enjoy an Aries. The neat thing about it, their Venus is in Aries. Say you've met this guy on Match.com and you told him, I need your birth date. I like to dabble in astrology. I want to look at your chart. And you punch up his chart and you find out that his Venus is in Aries. This guy can fall in love at first sight. Very, very, this is just, Aries are the me first sign again. So love at first sight, they can do that. They can just look at you and boom, pop. But also, if you're in love with a Venus, Aries, Aries, Venus, they can also be a little flirtatious and a little restless. And so if you're the jealous type, this is not the kind of person that you're going to be happy with. Excuse me. The Aries female, her motto is, no man will ever be her lord and master. Again, gentlemen, if you like a strong-willed woman that thinks for herself, this is the kind of lady you want. And she gets what she wants. Aries females are the absolute best in business. If you're an Aries female, you are probably going to do very well in your own business. You know how to run it. You know how to get what you want. Now, the Aries male, he is so cute and friendly. I haven't seen too many Aries males that just won't come up and start talking to you in the store or whatever. They're just one of those friendly kind of guys that don't know any strangers. Sexually, their love life is very exciting. They're very romantic and intimate. But often their relationships are short affair, and that's a problem with Aries. Again, they start things. They like to start new relationships. But once the relationship gets over that hump of falling in love and gets back into the routine of life, that is the phases of love relationships. You can't stay in love forever. Then the Aries male kind of fades away. So if you're involved with an Aries male or you just started dating one, give him his space and don't expect a whole lot. If Aries men do get married, yes they do. They do make long-term partners. A lot of these things is more for the younger males. If they're in their 20s, they're going to be much more likely to move on. If they're in their 30s, they're contemplating settling down. If they're in their 40s, they're probably pretty settled. If they haven't settled by the time they're in their 40s, you might as well just give them up. So a lot of these things we learn to overcome with age. This thing, life does get better. These are the challenges that we're presented with when we're born, and we overcome them. So don't totally say always an Aries, he's never going to get married and settle down. That's not true. They do, but the Aries like to move on and move on. They like that feeling of falling in love, especially when they're younger. When they get older, again, they need a woman that's going to keep things exciting and keep renewing that feeling of love. They're going to need those second honeymoons. They're going to need those spicy weekends and that sort of thing. So if you're with an Aries male, spice it up, honey. Spice it up. Book a room with a jacuzzi. Do something to get him stimulated again. Taurus. Now, where Aries is the me first, the masculine, the very strong and aggressive side, Taurus is the feminine, and Taurus is the reflection of Aries. It balances Aries. Where Aries is running around doing everything in a hurry and starting new things, Taurus is very slow and very methodical. I love this joke. I heard this joke about there were two bulls sitting on top of a hill looking down over the cows down there in the pasture. And there was a young one and an old one. And the younger bull said to the older bull, he says, let's run down there and get it on with some of those cows. And the older bull says, no, let's walk down there and get it on with all of those cows. That's a Taurus. They don't move quickly, but they do accumulate things. Possessions and things are very important to them. So if you're with a Taurus or you're interested in a Taurus, don't rush them. If you're with a Taurus and you've been with him for him or her any length of time, you can't rush them. Just be patient, plant the seed and let them go from there. If you're interested in a Taurus, now say you're on a dating site or there's someone is a Taurus, often you're going to have to make the first move. So if you're on a dating site and you see this guy's a Taurus on his sign there, you send him that little icebreaker or that wink or however they do it on whatever dating site you're on, initiate it. Because Taurus kind of lays back and waits for things to happen. They're a fixed sign and they're not one to initiate things. Also, if you're with a Taurus or you're interested in a Taurus or you're dating a Taurus or whatever, to spark the conversations, ask them about their stuff. Every Taurus collects something. They do. Ask them about their stuff, what they collect, what they have. And if you're getting to know a Taurus and you really want to become closer friends, tell them about your special stuff. Get out your stamp collection and show it to them. They will get all excited about that. Now, if their moon is in Taurus, they love romance. They're very faithful, but they're slow to commit. This is the kind of guy that a lot of women really, really idealize, right? We want that man that's faithful and he's romantic. Slow to commit, some of us have to practice those patience, but that's as my therapist used to say, slow change is permanent change. When Taurians do things, they may do it slowly, but they stick to it forever and they stick to their guns. They're very committed. If their Venus is in Taurus, so this is one to pay attention again, if you're on those dating sites and somebody's contacted you and he'd like to get to know you, ask him for his birthday, you can go to astro.com. That's a real great place to they'll punch up a chart for you. Also, there's Astrolabe, I think, that does that. You can search Google and find some place to punch up a chart, but go punch up his chart. If he's got his Taurus and Venus and he's just divorced, just drop him and let it go. He's not going to get over it. And the same thing with gentlemen, if you're looking at a woman and her Taurus is in Venus and she's just come out of a divorce, give them at least 2 years if they're young. If they're over 40, give them at least 5 years after their divorce before you start to be hopeful for a relationship, because it takes them a long time and it's difficult for them. Also, Taurus females will not go into a casual relationship. Men, if you're looking to just, play around and enjoy women, you might as well give up. If she's got some strong Taurus in her chart, she's not going to do it. She won't do it. She doesn't take relationships casually. And when she gets into a relationship, she gives it her all. But, boy, gentlemen, again, if you like a Taurus woman or you're interested, You better be ready to give her everything you have. You better be ready just to pledge everything you own to her, because she's going to take it anyway. They take. Possessions mean a lot to a Taurus. Just a minute here. My sore throat. I don't talk all week long, and then I come on here and I can't speak. That's what I get for and being an old lady and working from home. I end up working quietly. Here we go. A Taurus male. Now, ladies, this is the man that we all dream about, right? He's sensible about love, and he often wants a long-term, stable relationship. Oh. That's the kind of man that we all want, the ideal male there. So, again, Taurus males, they're slow to warm up. You have to make the first move. Don't rush them. But if you love a Taurus, if you're in love with a Taurus, you're going to get a very committed person in your life. Excuse me. And our next sign is Gemini, where Taurus is slow and methodical. Gemini is fast, quick, jumpy, flexible. You can say to a Gemini, hey, you want to pack up and move to Mississippi next week? Oh, yeah, let's go. Gemini's like flexible. They're just very, very dynamic. They're very dynamic. They change a lot. They need stimulation, where Taurus is calm. You always see the variations between the signs. Geminis represent the mind. They're ruled by Mercury. They love intelligent conversations. Often a Gemini will impress you as a very intelligent person. Trust is a thing for them. You have to be very honest and trust them. If you don't trust a Gemini, you break their hearts. You hurt them terribly when you say, I don't trust you. Even though they're not always trustworthy. You can. I can tell you that too. But it's important to a Gemini. So if you're involved with a Gemini and you really want to spice things up, be sure and reinforce the fact that you trust them. I trust your judgment. I trust what you think. Say that over and over. Remind them. And act it out too, Gemini. And be honest. They can tell if you're faking. The other thing about Geminis is they don't challenge them. They avoid confrontation. If you're interested in a Gemini, do not get angry with him because he missed your birthday. And you cannot challenge him like that. Like, say you've got that Scorpio woman that just gets like, where the hell were you when my birthday happened? They're going to just drop you. They'll run away. What you want to do with a Gemini, if you have an issue, you say, well, you put it in a hypothetical. You say, well, what would you do, if someone missed your birthday? How important is your birthday to you? And you put it in as a hypothetical and then talk it through them. Then they'll listen to you. But that's the only way you can deal with a Gemini. You can't confront them. It scares them so badly. If their moon is in Gemini, they need constant stimulation. The Gemini moons, those are the ones that they get cabin fever when it snows, they go crazy. Don't shut me in this house. They can't stand a routine job. And again, Sun and Moon and Venus, all of these elements will reflect, or it could be a Gemini Sun that needs that stimulation rather than a Gemini Moon. And you could be a Gemini Moon and yet you still need someone to trust you. So these kind of interact into each other. They blend. If their Venus is in Gemini, okay, again, if you're checking somebody out there on the dating site and you got their birth date, their Venus is in Gemini, they only fall in love with intelligent people. So if you don't have a high IQ, just don't push it. And, again, there's still a lot of other planets and a lot of other things that could influence it. And it may be that their Venus is in Gemini and maybe you're not a real high IQ person, but they've got other things in their chart that they love you and they work with intelligent people. But there's something about intelligent people they're going to find attractive somewhere in their lives. Intense emotional commitments weigh them down, and that's emotional. I'm not talking about a sexual commitment. I'm talking about emotional commitments where you feel like this need to have your partner, show you that you're loved and reinforce their love and that sort of thing. They can't deal with that. You just have to trust that they love you and let them fly. They're like, hold them with the open hand. The Gemini female, oh, my gentlemen, this is a lady that you just can't, the magic woman here, the enchanting one. The Gemini female enchants her lover. She can cast a spell on them. And you can just really get enthralled with a Gemini woman. But the thing about the Gemini woman, to maintain a relationship with her, she needs security and stimulation. There's times when she's going to want to cuddle, and there's times when she's going to want to run out and skydive. You've got to be very flexible and there to meet her needs when they come up, because they change. But if you can handle that, if you're one of those flexible kind of people that just love those beautiful fairy-like women, that keep life interesting, this is the kind of woman you want. And Gemini male, oh gosh, these men are so they're not threatening. They just don't feel threatening. There's something about a Gemini man. You just look at him and you feel safe next to him. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, smack, and you're in bed with them and you don't know how it happened. They're just quick. They're quick, and they feel so safe. And but the problem with a Gemini male, again, because they need this constant stimulation, especially if you're just beginning a relationship with a Gemini male, sometimes they'll come on very passionate, and then they'll drop that relationship as quickly as they started it. So don't give your heart up to a Gemini male too quickly. Make him take some time before he can have your heart. And our next sign is Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. She is the emotional one, where Gemini is the logical Mr. Spock. Cancer is Counselor Troy, the empath, right? She's just everything emotional. Cancer's motto is I feel. I feel. So Cancers are very watery and emotional signs. But Cancers also, they have this hard shell around them, and Cancers are very shy. Crabs kind of hide in the corners and hide underneath things. They're very shy, and one way to get a Cancer's attention, compliment them. It'll pull them out of their shell. But again, it has to be an honest compliment. You have to look at that Cancer and say, I really like that blouse you're wearing. It complements your eyes or something, or whatever. You have sharp style. Or with a Cancer, you might want to say, I just love those beautiful things that you make. She's probably going to crochet, or she's going to cook, or she's going to have some sort of project that she's making. Many Cancers are doing that. But compliment them, look at hard, get to know them, and find honest things to compliment them about, and they will slowly get to trust you. And again, Cancers, like Taurus, they take relationships a little slow. But the funny thing about Cancer is the longer the relationship goes on, they're less likely to commit. I'm going to tell you a little story. My father is a Cancer. And my mother told the story that him and her, they dated for like 2 years. They were together. And they went and got the marriage license, and I think back then they had like 3 months to get married before it expired. And she said they were coming down to the last couple of weeks of that marriage license before it was going to expire. And she finally threw a fit. My mother's a Libra. And said, we are going to go down and get married now. And the next day they went down to the courthouse or wherever and got married. Sometimes a Cancer man, if he's dragging on the relationship, you have to give him a little boot. Also with a Cancer woman, gentlemen, and this is some things that gentlemen like to do sometimes, is you'll get the Cancer, and she's very faithful. She's been in your life. She's been hanging around for a few years now. And the longer you go without asking her to marry you, without making that commitment, less likely she's going to stick with you. So don't drag it out too long, gentlemen, or the Cancer woman will just slowly ooze away from you. Funny thing about Cancers, if their moon is in Cancer, a lot of people with Cancer moons have a very strong psychic intuition. That's a little tidbit about Cancers. Cancer moons are very devoted and patient and sensitive. Oh, they feel everything. But again, the moon has a dark side that we didn't finally get to see anything of until we got satellites up there and got around to the dark side and got some pictures. The moon, Cancers do have a tendency to hide their feelings. They'll bottle them up. They'll hold them in. And that's a problem with cancers, especially when we're young. Hopefully, as we get older, we learn how to deal with that. But sometimes with a cancer, they'll hide their feelings, and you really have to spend some time and get them to open up. So it's a little bit of a challenge and a little bit of a work living with a cancer. But living with a cancer also brings a lot of romance. Again, they hide that love, but the romance is always there. If their Venus is in Cancer, the love is the most important thing in their lives. But again, sometimes they'll conceal it. They just hide it. They're afraid to express it because they're afraid they'll be hurt. But if that Cancer female, she's that shy, sweet woman that so many men adore, the pretty one, the one they can just whisk off their feet and save, right, the damsel in distress. And so if you can deal with this Cancer woman, this Cancer person, Cancer woman not showing her feelings and working very hard to gain her trust, you're going to have this very sweet, sensual woman in your life that's very faithful. Cancers can be very devoted. But if you're interested in a Cancer female, say you work with her or, again, you see her online, pay attention. She's very subtle with her flirts. And the one thing about a Cancer female, she's only going to flirt with you once, and if you don't respond, that's it. You won't get another chance. You will not. So you have to pay very close attention to that Cancer woman. But, boy, if you win her, you've got yourself this very sensitive and compassionate and good mother. Cancers make wonderful mothers. The moon is the mother. To settle down and have a good wife here. And I guarantee she'll cook well for you, gentlemen. The Cancer male is another story. Now, you talk about romantic. A Cancer man he can bring romance out of it and grab the sleeping bag and go out and sleep in the field and wine and cheese. And even a cheap date with a Cancer male is just so romantic. You get a Cancer male taking you out on a fancy date, you better be ready. You're going to be wined and dined and sparkled. They are very romantic. But the funny thing about a Cancer male is he wants what he can't have. I don't know how many women have contacted me and asked me about cancers. They're in love with a Cancer. And why doesn't he respond to me? And I'm like, because you give it all to him. If you just are there for a Cancer man and he can call you, if he knows he can get you at his beck and call, if you're right there for him, he doesn't want you anymore. You have to keep the carrot in front of the Cancer male. You have to bob that carrot in front of him and remind him, that if he says, if you're involved with a Cancer man, this is a good way to spice things up again. If he says, I love you, and say, well, today I love you too. Always remind him that things can change, always remind him and that sort of thing. Keep him on his toes. When he calls, I'm not saying don't answer his calls, that sort of thing, but when he calls, say, oh, I'd forgotten about you. Oh, that'll really that'll challenge him. That sort of thing. He always has to think that you're unattainable, and then he'll constantly pursue you. I'm not saying manipulate. I'm not saying manipulate. I'm just saying to emphasize those sorts of things. It is fact. Today I love you, but who knows about tomorrow? That sort of thing. Emphasize those things that, you love him, but you're not. But he's not your whole life, and you have a life, and, he needs that independent kind of female. As Cancers and Aries do actually have this contraction because of that. Aries carry all that independence, and they find that attractive. Even though here I said I wasn't going to talk about compatibility. Our next sign is Leo, and Leo is a masculine sign. Leos are also very fixed. They hate change. You can't change a Leo, not by telling him, not by giving him ultimatums. You can't say to him, no, look, you've got to change or I'm going to leave you. Because he's just a fixed sign. He can't do it. It has to be his idea. You have to encourage him to think that way. It's a little bit more subtle the way you deal with a Leo. Leos need attention. We all know that. Leos are the king of the jungle. They're ruled by the sun. They expect everyone else to rotate around them. Right? We're supposed to orbit them. Ladies, if you're interested in a Leo male, keep your makeup light. Men, if you're interested in a Leo female, keep the cash fluid. Leo, you will turn off a Leo woman faster than anything by being a tightwad, a spinster. You don't tip that waitress nicely, you're going to really, really upset her. Also, Leos want the best. So if you buy them a gift, right, if you're with the Leo, buy them the best. Don't buy them the cheap one. Buy them the very best quality, even if it's a small, item. Also, they love entertainment. They love it. In fact, if you're good, just tell them jokes. Keep the conversation going, that sort of thing. They love it. Every king needs a court gesture. So that's how you keep your Leo happy and spice. Stroke them. The thing about stroke them, in the Leo moon here, they need an audience, but they're quick to forgive. If you stroke a Leo, they'll do most anything you want. If you just take that time to praise them and tell them how great they are, because it's easy. Come on, everybody's great. It's easy to look at anyone and say how great you are. They all have wonderful qualities. It's easy to do this. And they're very, very quick to forgive. Leo moons and some Leo suns here, if you go to them and you say, I am sorry. I am really sorry. I feel very repentant. I'm sorry I burned down your house. I stole all your money, and I slept with your partner. And you're truly sorry. If you are truly sorry, a Leo will forgive you. A Scorpio will sting you, but a Leo forgives. They're a very forgiving sign, and that's the beautiful thing. They have big, big hearts. All you have to do is to stroke them and pay attention to them, and they will give you everything. They're very generous people. If their Venus is in Leo, they have this, and you'll see this charisma about them. There's just something magnetic. Also, people with Venus and Leo make very, very good supervisors at work. If you're at a job, the person with Venus and Leo is the one that we just go to for help. This person seems to be the best leader, the one that can give us the guidance to help us get things done. They're likable, they're nice, they make the best supervisors. But they demand loyalty and attention. So if you have Venus, if your Venus is in Leo, you need to stop and think about that every so often. Maybe you're being too demanding on the people around you. And again, this age, this is one of those things that you learn to tone down with age. If you're interested in the Leo female, just ignore her shortcomings and dwell on her virtues. That's all you got to do is just don't mention anything about the fact that she doesn't clean the bathroom very well. Don't mention it, and just dwell on what she does do. Oh, that was beautiful the way you made that arrangement or something, and she'll love you forever. And Leo females easily fall in love. Men, if you are interested, if you're just dating, and again you want to play around, you're still that player, quote unquote, watch out for that Leo female, because she can easily fall in love with you. And women, once sex happens, women get emotionally attached. Many women do. So be careful. You may have this Leo female stalking you. If you try to hit it and run, she's not going to. If she falls in love with you, she's going to let you know. So be careful. Be very careful. And Leo males, same thing. They're quick to fall in love. They are very quick to fall in love. So if you're not serious, don't get too close to that Leo male. Don't let him fall in love with you if you're not so sure, because you'll break his heart. You will break his heart. But the thing about a Leo male is, if you are serious and you get involved with this man, he is passionate. He's got that sparkle in his eye. He's got this major energy to just sweep you off your feet and impress you. But once you're in the relationship, he kind of loses his momentum. The romance drops and that sort of thing. So this is, again, he has trouble sustaining the romance, where Cancer can keep it going on. And we'll get on to Capricorn, what he can do. But Leo has trouble. So, again, ladies, if you're with a Leo male and you want to spice things up, again, you're going to have to go back up to these first things. Admire him. Buy him a very nice gift. Spend some extra time with him. Take some time to praise him. Work hard on pushing this back up, and then you can get a little bit of that lovemaking going again. You got to love Leos, though. They are just such kind, gentle people in so many ways. And Virgo. My goodness, I need to get to talking a little faster. I'm only halfway through here. I hope you guys don't mind waiting on me here. I'm going to get going. Virgo, if your sun is in Virgo, Virgo, again, is a feminine sign, and she is a mutable sign. She's at the end of the season. Virgo's the time for harvest. And Virgos are a strange bunch. They are, again, they're ruled by Mercury like Gemini, so they admire intelligence. But where a Gemini says, I think, a Virgo takes it to a higher octave and says, I analyze. Virgos just love details. They love going into the details of the situation. So if you're interested in a Virgo, you really have to first keep your conversation very intelligent, very smart, talk about educated things. Also, if you're interested in a Virgo, you better enjoy carrot juice and tofu because they are very health-oriented. And the one thing about a Virgo, if you're with one or you've been with one for any length of time, you probably ought to learn this, is they hate spur of the moment. They hate it when you just say, come on, let's jump in the car and drive to Florida. Where Gemini's like, let's go. The other side, they're both ruled by Mercury, but the Virgo says, no, I need to plan, right? I want the details here. So if you, with a Virgo, rather than trying to do a surprise party or something, tell them in advance this is what you want to do. Hey, Virgo, on our anniversary, let's take a trip to Vegas, right? And just let Virgo know what you want to do, and they'll grab it up. The Virgo will, and they'll take care of all the details. They'll make sure it's an excellent vacation, So plan it with a Virgo, and you'll have a great time. Virgo moons need security. They really need security. They will sacrifice love for the sake of security. So with a Virgo moon, you really have. If I have a Virgo moon and yeah, I love you very much, but you're living on a Social Security check and you sell cans to make you spending money. You collect. I'm not going to stick with it. I'm going to drop it with a Virgo moon. I have a Virgo moon, as you can tell. We do need security. If your Venus is in Virgo, watch out, gentlemen. If you're interested in a woman whose Venus is in Virgo, and we need to look at her whole chart to see the rest. But this kind of person is very cautious about love. Eleanor Roosevelt is the kind of personality you see with the Venus in Virgo. They make great humanitarians, but they're just not great partners. And sometimes all Virgos, if the moon, sun, rising sign, if you got something in Virgo, you can be very overly critical. Virgos, work on that. Work on your criticizing. Listen to what you're saying. Stop that. And again, that's the hard part. If you're one of those kind of guys that can just let that stuff roll off, and you like a woman that or a man that takes care of all of the details, and you don't care what they have to say when they're bitching, you just let it roll off, then this is a very good person because they work hard. And again, Virgo's the sign of the Virgin, so especially Virgo females, they're very, very faithful, very faithful signs. But again, a female Virgo, she's reluctant to show her emotions, but once you get her to open up, this woman is passionate. But Virgos have trust issues. So again, it's giving them a reason to trust you and not breaking that trust. It's really important with Virgos. The Virgo male is very interesting. He's an extremist. I call him. He's either the virgin or the slut. Virgo males, they're either virgins or they're sluts, but they're nothing in between. I've met Virgo men like that. Some of them, they're just virile, and they just can't help it. They have to conquer more women. Even if they're with a woman, they'll still be out chasing. Or I met the other Virgo man that is just so calm and so cute and so giggly and so quiet and very faithful and very analytical. So, the Virgo, if you're meeting him for the first time or you're on the dating site again, if he seems like a regressive Virgo and he's out there trying to date a lot of women, he's probably not for you. Poor guy. But again, this is younger, when you're in your 20s or something. By the time the Virgo male gets in his 30s, he starts realizing that maybe he needs to mend his ways if he'd like to have a full-time relationship, and by the time he's 40, he does figure that out. If he doesn't want to die alone, then he needs to, change things. They do that. The neat thing about a Virgo, and this is male or female, really, they give this illusion of being in control. When you meet a Virgo, they always give this impression of being very intelligent and in control of their lives, when actually they're not at all. And it's kind of a frustration if you, me as the Virgo, people think I'm very intelligent, and then when they get to know me, they find out I'm not as smart as they thought. I didn't mean to give that impression. I have to dumb down sometimes. Here we go. On into Libra. And we've only gotten through 6 signs. My goodness, I'm going to try and finish this up, people. I'm sorry about that. Is anybody leaving me any notes? I don't have this up. Oh, yes, I do see notes. Oh, gosh, I should read some of these. Gypsy Rose, Aries with a Taurus cusp. Oh, we got lots of cuspies to talk about. I'm a cuspy, too. Lisa Lomax, I'm a Taurus. I'm a cuspy. I'm born right on the cusp between Cancer and Leo. That's a whole different story. Cuspies are another story. We'll save that for another time. In fact, I'll think about that webinar. It's about for those born on the cusp. Anyhow, let's get going here with Libras. Libras are, again, they're born under the sign of Venus. The planet Venus rules them, and Venus rules love and money. And we all know Libras is into partnerships. Libras are balanced and that, but one thing I found about a Libra that I didn't mention here is that a Libra, male or female, if they've got dominant Libra in their chart, they have trouble making a decision without a partner. They really need, it's not that they need the partner to make the decision for them. They just need that partner to reflect on and keep them in balance before they can make a decision. So it's really difficult for a Libra that's single. It really is hard on a Libra that's single. It's better for them to have some kind of a partner. If it's not a love affair, to have a best friend or someone or a business partner. They do very well with business partners. Libra Sun, if you want to impress a Libra, only the best. If you're inviting a Libra over for dinner, even if you buy the dinner, if you have the dinner brought in, again, use good quality, expensive Chinese brought in or whatever, use your best china. Dress smart to impress a Libra. They're very much into beauty. Libras love beauty. And ask them about itself. There's nothing more a Libra loves to talk about than themselves. They'll work it into the conversation even subtly, even though you don't think they're talking about themselves. And the moon's in Libra. And again, this is sun's in Libra. These are interchangeable. Appreciate experiences that make life more beautiful and pleasing. That means an experience, people, not just a thing. Don't just buy them a bouquet of flowers. Yeah, bringing a bouquet of flowers is a beautiful experience, but also go someplace that makes life. Go to the forest or go hang out by the stream or go to the beach or go places that are beautiful. Go to a beautiful restaurant. Go to the art museum. That is what Libras are really, really going to enjoy. Libra females, Libras with not female. If your Venus is in Libra, this is, again, they fall in love very easily and require lots of romance, right? So if you're really interested in someone who has his Venus in Libra, you need to keep things romantic, champagne, candlelight, soft music. They need the ambiance, right? Keep that, or again, gentlemen, the same thing, keep the ambiance going. Now, the Libra female needs to be admired like a Leo. Excuse me. The sun, right, is our brightest star in the solar system. The sun is the brightest entity. But if you look at the night sky, Venus is always the brightest star in the sky. Venus is just big and bright, and you can see that in the sky, and it's the same thing. She's like the Leo. She needs to be admired. She really does. Both Libras do. Libra needs a lover who will provide fine things. Often Libra women will marry older. They will find a man older than them because he's more experienced. He can give them the relationship that they want, and he can provide the things they want. So, gentlemen, if you're looking for that December, May romance or whatever they call it, look for a Libra. Look for a Libra. She'll probably find you more attractive. Okay. And the Libra male. This is a real problem. He is just cute. Again, born under the sign of Venus. Excuse me. There we go. I needed a drink. He's born under the sign of Venus, so you just don't meet Libra males very often who are not attractive. There's something so cute about them. Even if he's been a boxer and he's got his nose broken 13 times, he's just got beautiful bedroom eyes or something. Always the Libra males find him attractive, and he's very, very sensual. His lovemaking, and again, like the Libra, flatter him, admire him. Problem with the Libra male ladies, though, I know this is more often younger. As they get older, they learn to overcome this. But because women find him so attractive, and he is a Libra, and he is a man, it's hard for him to really remain faithful, especially when he's young. Again, that it gets better as they get older. And this isn't all males. They're not all cheaters. You can't blame them all. Or can't say 1/12 of the population is going to cheat. That's not true. But it is. He is a little bit more. He just doesn't want to waste his time. Life is too important. He wants to sample all the flowers. And Libra males often have an effeminate quality to them. Not always, but they often do. So that's very interesting. And open that, and I can't get to this. All righty, Scorpios. Oh, the water sign. Scorpio, my mother always said Scorpios carry a grudge, but my girlfriend's mom, I love hers better, she said Scorpios will sting themselves. And be careful with a Scorpio, ladies, gentlemen, if you're involved with one, to be careful not to hurt them. Because if you do something that hurts them, like say you were married to a Scorpio and you divorce them, they will sting themselves in order to hurt you. Yes, they will. If they think it's going to tear up your credit, they'll tear up theirs. So, you know what I mean? Scorpios are very passionate people, but you've got to treat them fairly. Always give them your full attention, and don't fake it. Don't fake it. They know when you're faking. Never lie to a Scorpio. They can tell. They're ruled by the planet Pluto, and Pluto sees the hidden. And again, like I said, respect their opinion, even if you don't agree with them. They RESPECT. It reminds me of that song. That's the Scorpio's theme song. Respect. You must respect the Scorpio. Again, the moon, the Scorpio moon, the intense feelings. Their feelings are very intense, but they also have enormous willpower. And they're very shrewd. They can spot the good deals. They're good at business. They're good at gambling. You know what I mean? Good at investing. Also, the Scorpio moon, because they're so intense, this could be like the addict, the drunk who was drinking a pint of Jim Beam, a fifth of Jim Beam every day, all of a sudden turns over his life, stops drinking, gets involved in AA, and becomes a minister or something. Enormous willpower. They can just turn things around in their lives amazingly. If their Venus is in Scorpio, even if their moon or their sun's in Scorpio, the sex is going to be passionate. But if their Venus is in Scorpio, they get consumed by the love affair, just totally consumed by it. So, again, if you love that kind of relationship that's all-encompassing, you need a Scorpio. But if you need some freedom, maybe Scorpio is not your type. You have to give and take here. And if you're in love with a Scorpio and you want to spice things up, right, just do some very passionate things. Set up a very passionate situation. And I don't know. It's really easy with Scorpios. It's not hard to spice them up. You just got to touch them and they get all spiced up. It's not too hard. Scorpio females are very emotional, but they're very affectionate, but very demanding. She's the one that can be possessive and jealous. She can manipulate her man. She will. But she desires a very close, committed union. If you're a man that's really looking for a woman that's going to be close to you and intense with you, you know, you love that intenseness and that closeness. This is the kind of woman you need. Scorpio male, he gives you this aura of mystery and power. Watch out. But he is very sensitive and easily hurt. So he's going to be very attractive. He's going to be like that mystery man, the lone rider. And be careful for these kind of guys because, again, if you hurt them, even you don't mean to hurt them, you just don't want to be with them anymore, that hurts. it can get volatile with a Scorpio. So be very careful, be very sensitive, and be very respectful of a Scorpio, and you'll be fine. Sagittarius. Oh, the bright and shiny Sagittarius. You got to love them. You got to love them. Sagittarius sees the big picture of life. They see what's really important, and they're the guys that don't sweat the small stuff. Sagittarius don't. If you want to impress the Sagittarius, ask them what they think about anything. You know that if you're with a Sagittarius, you know that just talk. Ask them what they want to think. But if you've been with the Sagittarius, you know that they need their privacy. They really need their privacy, and you have to respect that. And that's hard sometimes for some signs. But if you can do that, if you can leave that person their privacy, then you can really get along. But a Sagittarius loves it when you share your most intimate secrets with them, probably because privacy is so important. You can trust that a Sagittarius isn't going to share your secrets with anyone. You know, privacy is just a thing for them. Sagittarius love the outdoors. Yes, they do take them out. They love to travel. They love to get up and go. They love to hang outside. But they're not very good at promises. Sag may make you a promise, and it goes through the sieve like water. You know, it's just not their deal. You got to love them. Just don't count on them. If there's moons in Sagittarius, they're optimistic. Again, these interchange, adaptable. But this is the thing for Sag. Sometimes they push their luck. And, a Sagittarius moon, sometimes they'll push their luck in business or whatever, but they're quick to recover, too. They're pretty good at that. Venus in Sagittarius desires perfect love. This is a real problem with people with Venus in Sagittarius. They have to really work on this, and they usually don't have good relationships when they're young because they have so much to learn about this. There's no such thing as a perfect love. It's not attainable. And they make much better friends than lovers. So if you're friends with someone who's Venus in Sagittarius, they're just the most fun, and they love you and that sort of thing. But again, this is something that's younger, and they do as they age, they get better at this. They get better at relaxing and realizing there's no such thing as perfect love. The Sagittarius female is drawn to the excitement of love, the excitement of falling in love, being in love. But when she's in a relationship, when she gets unhappy, she'll quickly end that affair, gentlemen. So don't let her sit unhappy too long. Get in there and take care of things at home, right? And the Sagittarius male, he enjoys the chase of romance, but long-term isn't his deal. That song, if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with, that's a Sagittarius male. It is. And again, that's younger males. As they get older, they know they have to readjust and change those things if they don't want to die alone. And most of them do. One thing about Sagittarius male is he prefers informal situations. He'd much rather have sandwiches and beer than have caviar and champagne. So if you like a relaxed situation and that sort of thing, the Sagittarius man, he is amazing. He has a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, and just enjoy yourself while you're with him, I guess. Some Sagittarius do commit. There are Sagittarius males who are married and committed and don't cheat. So it all depends upon a lot of the other planets and other things, but they are very happy, optimistic people. On to Capricorn, where Sagittarius are so optimistic and seeing the big picture. Sagittarius are very focused and very down to earth. In fact, Capricorns are very focused and down to earth. In fact, Capricorns may appear very aloof. And if you see a Capricorn, again, if you know someone and you're interested in him, you hear guys tell us, as Iceman tells us this on Psychic Bitch all the time, there's nothing wrong with a woman just asking a man for a date. Ask him. And this is especially true for Capricorn. You're going to have to approach him. You're going to have to do something to ask him to get the whole thing started quite often, or her. She may appear very loose. Start the conversations. Capricorns try to mask their feelings, and sometimes they're very good at it. You can be married to them for years, and you still don't quite know what they're feeling. It's a little hard to fathom. If you're buying a gift for a Capricorn, always keep it practical. Buy a man a tool, right? Buy a woman a tool, right? Kitchen tool, mechanical tool, whatever. And one thing about a Capricorn is always be on time. Nothing pisses them off more than you being late. Time is money, and you know how Capricorns feel about that, males and females. Capricorn moons, they're very self-reliant people. They take care of themselves, but they're almost haunted by that responsibility. They work so hard. Often Capricorns find their love more often later in life. Sometimes they're a little aloof and a little shy in younger ages. They're not, bad or anything like that. They're not big cheaters. They're just the shy guys or the shy girls that sit off and kind of wait for life to catch up with them. If their Venus is in Capricorn, they're extremely cautious at love and fear rejection. So, again, you have to be very, you have to work very hard to maintain their trust and to gain their trust. But, again, Capricorn, if you break up with a Capricorn, especially Venus or Sun or Moon in Capricorn, in fact, they're cold. They're cold when you snub them, or if you just don't want them, that's it. They're cold. You're dead as far as they're concerned. You never hear from them again. They're not too often stalkers, so that's the good thing. Capricorn female has a never-say-die attitude towards love, and yet she bounces back really quick from breakups. Capricorn women, sometimes they need to take that doormat off their forehead. They take too much from men sometimes. They do. But when you finally get them to the point where they're fed up, that's it. They're done with you, and they move on. A Capricorn male is that loner. He's that lone biker. He's that fellow that hangs off by himself, but he's very faithful. And Capricorns become better love makers later in years. They get better at true love. They get better at sex. They get better at a lot of things as they get older. So if you're interested in older women or older men here, Capricorn could very well be your person. You're there. They get better with age. Aquarius, dear Aquarius, they're ruled by the planet Uranus, the sudden, unexpected. They're also the rulers of science and humanitarian attitudes, right? This dawning of the age of Aquarius, harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding, blah, blah, blah. Aquarians, their biggest assets are their friends. Friends mean everything to an Aquarius. They make friends easily. And, again, they love technology because Uranus is the ruler of science. So if you're interested in Aquarius, you better be ready in the high-tech or gadgets. And, my God, when you're hanging with the Aquarius, you're going to be hanging with all their friends, too. Okay? So you better be in the crowd and be comfortable with that. They love the unique. And trust me, Aquarians are truly hard to predict. They will surprise you out of nowhere when you least expect it. But they are very committed. I mean, if they make a promise, an Aquarian makes a promise, they will keep it. They're very, very committed to that. Sometimes Aquarius, well, here, if you confront an Aquarius, they'll become very elusive and withdraw. That is true. And sometimes Aquarians, if they're a little unhappy, unbalanced, heartbroken, they'll withdraw, period. They become the hermit. Often in tarot, when I see the hermit, I think Aquarius. And if you have your moon in Aquarius, they need an independence in a relationship. You've got to let this person have their freedom, their total freedom, when you're sun or moon again. Also, if you're in a long-term relationship with Aquarius, the LTR, your relationship kind of slowly transitions from husband to wife to friend companion. Love is nice. Love is wonderful, but they kind of focused on a little bit different plane. If their Venus is in Aquarius, the emotions are usually detached in love, and they can't tolerate that jealous Scorpio. No way. No way. They need someone that's just as detached as they are. They'd love a Gemini. Here I am saying I wouldn't do compatibility. Female Aquarius, friends before lovers. You've got to be her friend first. She's not going to be lovers with anyone she's not friends with first. But they say that the Aquarius female makes the very best wife. She's tolerant, she's not easily offended, and she rarely gets jealous. So if you want a nice, easygoing woman in your life, gentlemen, make friends with an Aquarius. She might just become your lover. Same thing with the Aquarius male. He has to be friends with you before he's going to be your lover. And it's very, very important to give that man his freedom. Hold him with the open hand. In fact, what they said, if you leave the barn door open, he probably won't leave anyway. But he has to have that door open, so always make sure he has his freedom. And the last one, here we go, almost through this webinar. Sorry for taking so long, people. I'll try to slow it down to one planet next time. Pisces, they love the last sign of the zodiac. This is the water sign. They feel so much. Pisces are the spiritualists. I call them the zodiac's social workers. They're here to help others. If you want to impress a Pisces, they love talk about art, mysticism, spiritualism. This is what they're into. If you know a Pisces and you want to impress them, ask them, talk about life after death. Talk about reincarnation. So even if they don't believe in it, they'll find it very interesting. Pisces, again, I said, the universe's social workers, so share your problems with them. They're open and accepting to that. But also show them that you're competent. They have enough people coming to them wanting help, and what we call psychic vampires, just taking all of our energy. Show them to say something like, yeah, I used to be one hell of an awful drunk, but then, I got involved in AA and I made some changes or whatever. Or you say something like, hey, I realize I smoke too much, but I am aware of it, and I do try to, not to smoke around non-smokers and to smoke outside, et cetera, things like that. Small and thoughtful, the little things they appreciate. A Pisces appreciates all the little things. Even if you just put a little extra parsley on his meal, he'll notice. He appreciates those little things. Same thing with the female. She notices all the little things. Pisces moon, they say that Pisces moons are very intuitive. Again, these are more likely to be psychic. Moons in Pisces. They're very creative and romantic people, but they can't see the outside world accurately. My female Pisces clients, I always warn them when they're meeting a new man and they're just starting to date, ask your girlfriends what he thinks, because you're not going to see the situation clearly, Pisces. You just don't. Ask your girlfriends. Take their opinions. Listen to your girlfriends. They'll help you pick a better mate. And again, I'll say more about that. With your Venus is in Pisces, they often choose the wrong lover, and these are interchangeable. They're very intuitive about love, but they're also very fickle if the Venus is in Pisces. Pisces have more problems with addictions, and I'm not sure if that's really true or not. As far as addictions go, I meet so many people with addictions, and we have addictions besides just drugs and alcohol. We get addicted to food. We get addicted to work. We get addicted to love and relationships. We get addicted to sex. I think that Pisces, yes, they're very intuitive and they're very sensitive, and so they're easily, drawn into addictions. But I think also because they think higher, because they see love and communion and they're very spiritual, it's easier for them to see their own addictions. The Scorpio can't look at themselves and look inside themselves, where Pisces, it's real easy for them to go inside themselves and see their issues. So, yes, addiction can be a problem for Pisces. And, again, they choose the wrong lover. Life can be a little hard for Pisces, but they also have some very romantic and some very creative, and they're the very passionate people, empathic, that's the word, empathic. They can feel your feelings. So they're here to help. They have their good parts too. And they're very sweet and kind and flowery kind of people. I love them. The Pisces female, she changes herself to fit her partner's ideal. She's very needy. She's a mutable sign. And she will. If her partner likes a woman that plays golf, she'll go learn golf, that kind of thing. She also sees lovemaking as a communion, as a way to commune, as a deeper, higher thing than just making love to a person. A Pisces male also can pick the wrong woman. In fact, the Pisces male almost kind of finds those clandestine things attractive in the married woman. The Pisces is the 12th house, the self-undoings. But Pisces males are very romantic and very compassionate, and again, they need a lot of support. Pisces are the slippery fish. They need people to I'm not sure, not support, but they need a lot of empathy. They need people to understand where they're coming from. And Thanks for watching. We just covered all 12 signs. Sorry this took so very, very long. People, we have some attendees here, a couple people on the line. I'm going to switch this over right now. Right now we're on lecture, and I'm going to switch to Q&A. Okay, you should get a whisper that said Q&A is started. If you're interested in asking a question and you want a psychic reading, please press *6 on your telephone. It takes a few minutes for it to propagate onto my screen, but press *6 if you want me to pick you up and talk to you. And in the meantime, I'm going to close up our webinar here and remind people I am Sparrow Moon, Janet Sparrow Moon, and you can find me at sparrowmoon.com. Also, I have another astrology website, if you're interested, called zodiacbrat.com, and I have a lot of fun over there. We have some funny astrology over there, and I also have the forecast for the year. You can see what the planets are doing now, what the planets are going to be doing, and I also go around and I find other good astrologers and post some of their stuff. So you have good things to read, some things to make you laugh, and keep you informed on astrology. Also want to give a big thanks to Psychic Bitch for making all this possible, for making our webinars possible. And if you'd like to find out more about me, look for Janet Moon on Google Plus or Google Circles or whatever it's called, Google Plus. I'm also Sparrow Moon on Facebook, or you can find me as Janet Sparrow Moon on Facebook. And I'm Sparrow Moon on Twitter, if anybody wants to find me there. I'm on Google, Facebook, and Twitter. And I have a couple of websites, and I think I'm all done plugging. Oh, I see it. Okay, and I have a couple of Q&As here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording now. I'm going to stop recording the webinar, but we will continue on with the webinar for our live guests here, for our people that are here. And those who want to hear the recording, blah, 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 I'm going to stop the recording now. Thank you all for listening, if you're listening to the recording, and come check out another webinar. I hope to keep doing these for a long time.